We're here at the speak, feel me? Who going next?
We want financials.
Tell them we going for Canelo next.
Yes.
Let's
go. Canelo, come on.
You heard it from him.
We are ready.
A Crawford-Canelo fight would be a thrilling clash of styles, but Canelo's disinterest keeps fans in suspense about whether this epic bout will ever happen. Following Canelo Álvarez's recent unanimous decision victory over Edgar Berlanga at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, several boxers swiftly emerged as potential challengers for the Mexican champion. After Canelo Álvarez successfully defended his WBC, WBO, and WBA super middleweight titles against Edgar Berlanga, Terence Crawford took to X with a straightforward message: "Put me in the game, coach." Crawford, fresh off dominating at welterweight, signaled his interest in moving up in weight to challenge Álvarez. Additionally, Turki Alalshikh attended the highly anticipated UFC 306, held just 3 kilometers from the T-Mobile Arena. Both Terence Crawford and Alalshikh seized the moment to challenge Canelo Álvarez. While Crawford hinted at a potential clash with Álvarez through his tweet,
"We're here at the speak, feel me? Who going next?
We want financials.
Tell them we going for Canelo next.
Yes. Let's go. Canelo, come on.
You heard it from him.
We are ready.
After taking care of business against Edgar Berlanga, Canelo Álvarez shut down Terence Crawford's challenge with a simple message: not interested. Canelo made it clear he's got his own plans and isn't looking to mix it up with Crawford anytime soon.
Tonight, Terence Crawford was with Turki Alalshikh at the other event across town. Put out an open challenge to you on the internet with Turki Alalshikh calling you out. What's your response to Terence Crawford's call out tonight?
No comment.
Canelo Álvarez just shrugged off Terence Crawford's challenge, calling a fight with him easy money. While Crawford's been pushing for the showdown, Canelo made it clear he doesn't see the welterweight champ as a real threat, more like a quick payday.
Do it.
Why not? Why not? I think Crawford don't get me wrong. He's a great fighter. But for me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight for me.
Canelo Álvarez made it clear he's only eyeing a fight with Terence Crawford if the money is right. Similarly, Terence Crawford has taken shots at Canelo Álvarez, accusing him of consistently picking smaller opponents. Crawford's calling out Canelo for not stepping up and challenging tougher.
With all the antics that Canelo is doing and saying in the media and whatnot, about the size and he won't get no credit and all this type of things, but Canelo been fighting smaller guys his whole career. Canelo been making his own catch weight for years. You know, Canelo fought a smaller Mayweather.
Referring to the weight class difference and money issue, Crawford added, "I'm pretty sure he didn't make as much money with all those guys, except Mayweather, even Berlanga right now, that he will with me. But yet, and still, you know, he have all these excuses why he don't want to take a fight with me. If it's all about business, then you doing good business." Canelo Álvarez improved his record to 62-2 after a decisive victory over 27-year-old Edgar Berlanga, who now stands at 22-1. Canelo reflected on the win, stating, "I did good. Before they said I fought older fighters. Now what are they going to say? I fight younger fighters? They always talk. I'm the best fighter in the world. It means a lot. It's an honor for me to represent my country on this day. I feel proud about it." This victory came after Canelo was stripped of his IBF belt in July for choosing to face Berlanga over the IBF's mandatory challenger William Skull. Canelo applied early pressure on Berlanga, and despite a brief attempt from the younger fighter to respond, a devastating left hook in the third round sealed the win. Terence Crawford spilled the beans that Canelo Álvarez is asking for $200 million to fight David Benavidez and $150 million to face him. Crawford's calling Canelo out, saying these sky-high numbers show he's scared of the challenge. Crawford believes that beating Canelo would seriously mess with his legacy and that Canelo's big price tag is all about dodging a real fight and the risk of damaging his career. The WBO's order for its junior middleweight title holder Sebastian Fundora to fight interim 154-pound and 4-division champion Terence Crawford might seem straightforward. straightforward, but Sebastian Fundora's promoter, Samson Lukowicz, believes it's far from simple. He argues that the 30-day deadline to reach a deal is effectively cut in half because he's convinced Crawford is still eyeing a fight with Canelo Álvarez. Lukowicz feels that Crawford's focus on Canelo could complicate negotiations and make the timeline even tighter. Canelo Álvarez defeated Edgar Berlanga in his September 14th three-belt middleweight title defense, and Lukowicz speculated that Crawford would only turn to Fundora if he felt his chance to land that lucrative showdown was dead. Lukowicz added, "I'm waiting on an offer now, and I'm certain one will not come until after the 14th. I'd like to find out right now if Crawford's going to fight for the money or the titles. I believe he wants the money, will do everything he can to fight Canelo, and his team will not call me until after the fight." Moreover, when asked about the Crawford-Sebastian Fundora fight being ordered, Álvarez said that he hasn't been involved in any discussions about a Crawford match since expressing his disinterest at his Los Angeles news conference earlier this month. However, he stopped short of declaring that the WBO order means a fight with Crawford is off the table. Álvarez added, "I don't think so. I'm not saying that fight can't happen. That order doesn't matter." Similarly, a tweet earlier by Turki Alalshikh mentioned that he had decided not to pursue a fight with Canelo Álvarez anymore. Instead, he will focus on organizing bigger fights in the US, especially for Terence Crawford, and will support matches featuring other prominent fighters. Furthermore, criticizing Turki Alalshikh, Álvarez insists that any collaboration must follow his terms, potentially portraying him as inflexible or unwilling to compromise.
I don't like the way he talk, and I'm not in this position because of any. I'm in this position if he wants to work with me, it's in my way, not in their way.
Canelo Álvarez emphasizes his respect for everyone he works with, including Turki Alalshikh. While he appreciates and respects Turki, Canelo makes it clear that any collaboration needs to fit his own terms. He wants to keep things professional and ensure that any deals or interactions are based on mutual respect and understanding. Canelo stresses that respect is a top priority for him, and he expects to be approached and treated accordingly in the boxing world. In response to claims that he's reluctant to fight Crawford, Canelo stated, "I'm not begging for anything. I'm in a strong position, and I'm not pushing to make that fight. I'm focusing on my own business, and I'm doing fine. If you want to make that fight, we can talk about it after my current fight." Former professional boxer Robert Garcia expresses skepticism about the feasibility of a Crawford versus Canelo fight, especially after Crawford's recent performance.
That's too much. Moving up 2 more weight divisions, 2 more. Thank you, my man. Thank you. I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think that'll bring that much attention anymore, because I think if you were going out there and destroy this guy.
Robert Garcia talks about the idea of Terence Crawford moving up in weight to fight Canelo Álvarez. He starts by explaining that it's a big leap for Crawford, highlighting the significant challenge of jumping up 2 weight classes. Garcia believes that after Crawford's latest performance, people might not be as excited about the fight. Garcia added, "I think people are not really going to want to see Crawford versus Canelo." Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn highlights the size disparity between Crawford and Álvarez, emphasizing the physical advantages Álvarez would have in the matchup.
I mean, I think Terence that's a question for Terence. For me, 168 is a huge jump. You know, you're talking about someone the size of Canelo Álvarez.
Eddie Hearn emphasizes that weight class disparity could pose a substantial challenge for Crawford. Hearn explains that Álvarez is not only larger, but also possesses greater physical strength, which would provide him with a considerable advantage in a potential matchup. By stating, "You're talking about someone the size of Canelo Álvarez," Hearn emphasizes how Álvarez's superior size and strength could create a significant imbalance, making it difficult for Crawford to compete on equal terms. This size disparity is a crucial factor that could heavily influence the outcome of the fight, as Álvarez's physical attributes might overwhelm Crawford's skills and strategy. Additionally, pro boxer Gabriel Rosado shared his thoughts on the Canelo-Crawford matchup. He said that Crawford is challenging himself by moving up in weight.
Knowing that you've been in the ring, you gave your heart and soul to the sport, do you think that it's time for like fans to kind of end this conversation where people should move up multiple weights like Crawford, right? He was an undisputed 147. He just went to 154. Now they're talking about eventually him and Canelo down the road. Like,
but Crawford did that. Nobody said Crawford should fight Canelo. Crawford's the one that wants to fight Canelo. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really think it's like the fans. I think it's Crawford just calling out Canelo. You know what I'm saying? So, and the thing is that when fighters get older, it is natural for them to just move up in weight because
Gabriel distressingly stated that Crawford's recent fight with Madrimov was really close because he was so unpredictable with all those feints and pressure moves. Gabe also believes that Canelo is a way better fighter than Madrimov. Crawford won the fight against Madrimov by only a round or two, so Rosado seemed skeptical if Terence could pull off a fight with Canelo. He further added that if Canelo is landing those types of shots on Crawford, then it begs the question of how long can Crawford hold up against Canelo. Rosado added, "Well, if Canelo is able to get past Berlanga, I think the fight that makes sense for him would be Crawford. Just because, you know, they're offering him, I don't know what the figures are, but I'm sure it's really big, so think that fight will make sense." In addition, boxing trainer Jeff Mayweather asserts that after the Madrimov fight, a lot of people will have doubts about Crawford beating Canelo.
What do you think about him fighting Canelo?
I think that if he prepares right for Canelo, he's going to do well. But the one thing is this: I mean, right now, after seeing this fight, a lot of people are going to think that he's not going to be able to beat Canelo. But
Jeff Mayweather believes it's okay if Terence Crawford doesn't beat Canelo Álvarez because trying and taking big risks is part of what makes a fighter great. He feels that stepping up and facing tough challenges, even if you don't win, is what real fighters should do. It's about pushing your limits and proving you're willing to take on anyone, no matter the outcome.
Moving up in weight and Crawford wanting to fight Canelo Álvarez. Canelo Álvarez, that was his focus. That was the zone's focus, Canelo Álvarez, right? After watching Crawford versus Israel Madrimov, how do you think the Canelo Álvarez fight goes, if it were to occur?
I think at this point, he should definitely, that's a note for me. I don't think that Crawford has enough pop at 54.
Moreover, boxing analyst Tim Bradley praises Crawford as one of the smartest fighters, comparing him to Mayweather, and believes Crawford can beat Canelo at 168 pounds despite any doubts.
That's a tall order. It's a tough task, I would think, for Terence. But at the same time, I would back him. I think that his skill level is up there with the greatest. I don't think we've seen anything like Terence Crawford in all my years of boxing. I know that for a fact. I do study history. I've never seen anybody that has everything: good speed, power, timing. Can switch the way he switches, to have the toughness, the meanness that he has, the way he finishes guys, the way he breaks down guys.
Bradley is confident in Crawford's unmatched skills, believing he could handle moving up in weight to face Canelo. He argues that Crawford's ability to read opponents would neutralize Canelo's predictable style, allowing him to dodge big shots and outpoint Canelo without needing a knockout. Bradley also notes that if Crawford could land some shots on Canelo, Crawford would capitalize on those openings even more effectively. Bradley added, "I still think that Crawford can beat him, but it's just talk, man. The fight has to be made, and I don't think Canelo's going to go down that road with Terence Crawford. It's not a scared thing. It's just the fact that he wants credit for fighting somebody in his weight class, not somebody 3 weight classes down. Because I don't think if he was to beat Crawford, I don't think he'd get any credit." Telegraph's boxing correspondent Gareth A. Davies backtracks on the Crawford versus Canelo hype, admitting he was wrong about the dream matchup. After Crawford's bout with Madrimov, Davies now sees the 6 weight class leap as a stretch too far for Bud.
Crawford should not fight Canelo. A 6th weight class climbing from lightweight is too much at the very, very elite pound for pound level. I think I was wrong in calling Crawford to fight Canelo. I just think the size difference would be too big. The power.
Gareth A. Davies discusses the idea of a potential fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Álvarez. Initially, he was enthusiastic about the matchup, believing it could be an exciting contest. However, following Israel Madrimov's fight, Davies now acknowledges the challenges involved, particularly with Crawford needing to move up 6 weight classes, making the fight seem far less feasible than he originally thought. He says, "I just think the size difference will be too big. The power difference will be too big.